What's up, dudes? I'm the Dominicator, and in this video, I'm gonna hypnotize you not to touch your face. As in all my videos, you'll be asked to leave a comment at the end while hypnotized. So go ahead and log into an account that you can use for that. Mute any distractions, and continue when you're ready to get hypnotized. Alright, dudes, a little explanation first. So, the main reason why you would not want to touch your face is to prevent infections of all kinds. And that includes acne. And you might have heard this before, but you've got dirt on your hands unless they're completely clean, and oil on your face. And whenever these things meet, then bacteria can get inside of your pores where, well, they have a party inside of your face. And they make acne, they make zits, pimples, all kinds of things. And another type of infection is the infections we all know and love from flu season, coronavirus, any kind of upper respiratory tract infection, whether it's from a virus or a bacteria. And so by avoiding touching your face, you can also avoid getting those virus particles or bacteria anywhere near your nose or your mouth, any mucous membranes. And by doing that, you can potentially prevent getting coronavirus altogether. And I'm going to help you with that. So, whenever you're ready to get hypnotized, then just continue listening to the sound of my voice. So to begin, I just want you to look at the dot in front of you and just follow it with your eyes as you want to go back and forth, and as you do. And you'll find that it gives you a nice and a relaxing and a heavy and pleasant feeling. And that just helps you to sink down and to settle down into an even deeper state of relaxation. Then as you continue to listen to the sound of my voice, and you'll notice what a wonderful, warm, and masculine dominant sound that it is, and then how it seems to wrap around your mind, surround your brain, the more that you listen to it. And so the more that you do listen to the sound of my voice, the more that it seems to reach inside of you, go right in through the airwaves, and right into the muscles and the muscle fibers of your body, where it shakes out all of the stresses and the tensions inside of you. And the more that you listen to it, the more that the body just relaxes all by itself, as it just sinks down and settles down into a wonderful and warm state of relaxation, a very nice and pleasant and pleasantly relaxed state. And as you continue to focus on the dot in front of you, and has a lulling feeling about it, as if it's lulling you into an even deeper state of relaxation, into a wonderful and mind-melted state. And it's just as if the sound of my voice has a mind-melting quality as well, as if it is reaching through the airwaves, going right into your ears, right into your mind, where it's just melting away all of the stresses and tensions inside of your mind. And no matter what those are, all of the stresses and tensions, cares and worries and fears and anxieties, and it's just melting them away, melting them as they just drip down and drop down inside of you. And as you drip down and drop down into a wonderful and relaxed and pleasantly relaxed state, even more so. Man, as you do so, then you'll find and you'll notice that you tend to breathe much more evenly, much more deeply, much more slowly. And then as you breathe in the cool and the clean air around you, and that you can feel the stresses and tensions inside of your muscles, of your body, even more so as you breathe in. And as you breathe out with each and every breath that you take out, that you relax those stresses and tensions even more so. And that just feels so good, just to feel that nice and wonderful feeling of relaxation in time with your breathing. And the more that you simply breathe, taking nice and even and deep breaths, the more that you relax. The more that you relax, the better that you feel. And the better that you feel, the deeper down that you sink, and that you fall into a wonderful, deeply and totally relaxed state of mind, and a state of mind in which all that you'll want to do is just to listen to the sound of my voice as the mind opens up even more so to the suggestions that I give. And in a moment's time, I'm going to snap my fingers and say the word sleep, and when I do, and you're going to feel a feeling, an electric shock, a jolt that courses and surges throughout your entire body. Man is going to close your eyes all by itself, and at the same time, the mind is just going to shut down all by itself, and you'll sink down and settle down into an even deeper, even more relaxed and pleasant state of mind. A state of mind which the mind is completely and totally open up to the suggestions and even the commands that I give you. It's just going to feel so good just to sink down and settle down under that wonderful, warm, and masculine dominant tone from the sound of my voice. That's all that you'll want to do. And now you can feel a feeling of heaviness inside of the eyelids and inside the mind that is building up so much now that they just want to close down all by themselves. And now, sleep. And just sink down and settle down and allow for all of the stresses and tensions inside the muscles of your body just to melt. And as they just melt down, as you just drip down and drop down into an even deeper, even more relaxed, and even a passive, and even a submissive state of mind in which your mind just opens up to the suggestions and even the commands that I give you. And it just feels so good. It feels as if you're sinking down, as if you're going down, dropping down into a wonderful and a warm jacuzzi, a hot tub that is made from the sound of my voice, from a silky and a smooth sensation that just wraps around you. Man, it's such a nice feeling. It's a feeling that is very warm and very relaxing. And it's a cleansing feeling as well, just as if the skin is being cleaned, as if the mind, as if the brain is being cleaned of any kind of unwanted stresses and tensions and cares and worries and fears and anxieties. And the more that you feel that feeling, the better that you feel, and the more easily that you can just sink down and settle down into it. And the more that you can feel a feeling of influence, a feeling that feels like magnetism from the sound of my voice that reaches deep inside of you, inside of the mind, inside of the brain. And it's just as if the sound of my voice has a kind of magnetism about it and makes you want to follow the suggestions that I give you. And that even reaches inside of the muscles and the muscle fibers of the body, and that seems to pull them along with whatever suggestions that I give you, and to pull them along with my words. And you can even feel that feeling now. There's a kind of masculine persuasiveness and influence from the sound of my voice that is reaching down, that's sinking down and settling down inside of you, even now. And yet, it just feels so good. And that the more that you listen to the sound of my voice, the more that the mind just melts down, drips down, and drops down. And you don't even have to think much about what I said at all. All that you have to do is just to continue to sink down and settle down. Just relax into that wonderful and warm, pleasant feeling. And a feeling of a wonderful, warm, and masculine dominant tone from the sound of my voice, and it just feels like you're sinking down even further and even faster into a hot tub. And you can feel that feeling of a warmth and a masculinity and a dominance that reaches down and settles down inside of you, deep inside of the unconscious mind, that just makes you want to follow, and even to obey each and every suggestion and command that I give you. That just feels so good to have a dominant male authority figure that presides over the mind, that presides over the body as well. But it just feels so good that you can feel the body just wanting to move along, just wanting to follow along with the suggestions that I give you, and the mind just wanting to move along and follow along with the suggestions that I give you. And that just feels so good that the more that you do so, the better that you feel, and the more easily that you find it is to follow the suggestions and even the commands that I give you. And as you sink down, settle down, go down, and drop down even further and even faster into that wonderful, warm, and masculine dominant feeling from the sound of my voice, and you can feel as I'm twisting and turning and pushing all the little levers and switches and knobs inside of you, inside of the mind, inside of the brain. And as you continue to float down, and you can see and you can picture inside of your mind's eye, you can see and picture inside of your mind's eye all the little tiny and teensy cells that rest and that lie on top of your face. And you can see them inside of your mind's eye, and then on the very outside there are some dead skin cells. But as you go even deeper, and then you'll find that there are pores that are around those dead skin cells, and that inside of those pores there's a well of oil that's resting inside of them. And then even deeper and down inside of that are live cells inside of your face, and that your face is comprised and is composed of life, and that there's life all around you as well. As you picture and as you imagine, as you visualize all the life that is around you, wherever it is that you may be, that in fact there are some things, even now, on your hands, but things that you need not worry about at all, as they can't penetrate down deep into your hands at all, that you're completely and totally safe even as I speak to you. That simply the more that you relax, that the more that you sink down and settle down, you feel the heaviness in the hands and just continues to take you down even further. And just knowing that you're safe and relaxed helps you to visualize and to picture these things even more so. Now there's all kinds of life on each and every surface that you might encounter. That there are different bacteria. Some are good, some are bad, some harm people, and some are double-edged. No matter where it is, you can find all kinds of things, all sorts of things, whether they're on your hands or on a surface anywhere around you. And you can imagine even further that whenever you touch something, when your hand comes into contact with the surface, that you happen to leave whatever it was that was on your hands, and now it is a part of those surfaces, and that you can also pick up things, and just like that. And you can imagine that there are things that are good bacteria, some bad bacteria that are on your face, and perhaps you'll find that from time to time that there is an itch or some strange feeling on your face, something that you feel an unconscious reaction to want to touch your face, to want to scratch your face, but as you visualize all of these things now so clearly inside of your mind's eye, you can see how those little tiny particles, a little tiny virus, a little tiny bacteria could so easily and so quickly make contact with your face. Man, the more that you picture, that you imagine that, the more that you can also feel from me, from my presence, from the sound of my voice, a kind of magnetism that keeps your hands away. It's just as if there's a repulsive force between your hand and your face. That the more that you know, that you realize, that you picture, that you visualize all of these things, the more deeply settled in and ingrained into your mind's eye that they become. And the more that you can see them inside of your mind's eye, and the less and less that your hands will even reach up to your face at all. But the moment that you are aware of an itch, or the moment that you're aware of a certain habit, perhaps of holding your head in your hands, or perhaps of twirling your hair, touching your face, brushing your nose, whatever it is that it may be. The instant that you feel that impetus, that you feel the very beginnings of that habit becoming an action, then you can also feel that wonderful, warm and masculine dominant feeling inside of your mind that rises up and that billows up inside of you like a puff of smoke. And you can feel as that feeling just causes a wonderful, a relaxing, a mind-melting feeling. The mind-melting feeling as you also feel a feeling magnetism that pushes your hand away from your face. Because the further away that it is, the better that you feel. And each and every time that you succeed in not touching your face, and you feel a good and a positive feeling about that. A good and a positive feeling, just knowing that there was perhaps a pimple, or a zit, or some acne that you avoided. And you can imagine that by not touching your face, that you've avoided that. That by not touching your face, that you've avoided a flu, that you've avoided a coronavirus. And just to know that, and to know that, and each and every single success that you have is very good, and a very far-reaching success. That just gives you a good feeling of achievement, a good feeling of accomplishment, and just to know that you're forming this good and positive habit. The more that you do, in fact, not touch your face, the more that you feel that magnetic feeling, that feeling that pushes your hand away from your face, and the better and better that you feel. The better that you feel, and less, in fact, that the unconscious mind wants to move that hand towards the face. And even if your hand should come in contact with your face, and the very first thing that you'll realize and that you'll become aware of is that picture of that image, of that visual, of Whatever it is, those bacteria, or maybe even a virus that comes in contact with your face and in contact with your nose or mouth or ears, and as you imagine that virus getting inside of you, then you feel a feeling of repulsion, of the hand that moves it even further, even faster away from the face. The more that you feel that feeling of repulsion, then the better and better that you feel. It becomes so very easy just to avoid any kinds of problems at all, any kinds of infections at all, any kinds of acne, any kind of flu or a virus or a bacterium. And the more that you feel that feeling, that ease of being able to resist touching your face, of the hand just moving away from your face all by itself, then the more that you also feel a feeling of calm. A feeling of calm as all of the fears, the worries, anxiety, stresses, and tensions in your mind just melt away. And the more that they melt away, the more relaxed that your hands become, and less that they want to, or that they need to touch your face at all. And that just feels so good that you can feel that as it becomes a habit. You can feel as the mind learns and the brain learns that not touching the face is a good thing to do, that keeping the hands away from the face is a good thing to do. And the more that it learns that, then the easier that it becomes. The more that the mind learns and the brain learns this habit. But now in a moment, in a little while, I'm going to count you back up from 1 to 3. And as I count from 1 to 3, and you're going to feel a good and a positive feeling that comes back up with you into the waking world. A feeling of achievement and a feeling of accomplishment, just knowing that the mind and the brain have been twisted and turned and molded and shifted and shaped in such a way as to keep your hands away from your face. And whenever you do come back up into the waking world, then I want you to try to touch your face. But you'll find that when you try that, there's something that holds you back. There's a magnetic force that seems to keep your hand away from your face. There's a sudden image and picture, a visual that appears within your mind's eye, a feeling of repulsion, a feeling of revulsion perhaps, that keeps the hand away from the face. And in fact, the more that you feel that, the better that you feel, and the more that you rest assured that your hands won't come anywhere near your face at all. And whenever you feel that feeling, and you have resolved not to touch your face again, then I just want you to leave a comment below that says, I will never touch my face again. And as you leave that comment, then you're going to feel a good and a positive feeling about you, a feeling of achievement, a feeling of accomplishment, a feeling of control over any kind of infection that you might have contracted otherwise. And whenever you come back into the waking world, and leave me a comment that says, I will never touch my face again. And when you leave that comment, then you're going to feel a feeling of resolve that rises up inside of you. That's just going to feel so good. And it will spread throughout the entire mind, the entire body. And it's just going to feel so good to feel that change as it sinks down and as it settles down inside of you. But now, I'll count you up from 1 to 3, and as I do, you're going to feel a good and a positive feeling that you'll carry back with you into the waking world. Now, beginning with 1, as you feel a light feeling that begins to take you up and lift you back up. And 2, coming up even further and even faster, just feeling so good as you do so. And now 3, eyes open and wide awake. Alright dudes, like, subscribe, and check out Dominicator.com to check out my digital downloads or to schedule an appointment with me to get hypnotized. Catch you later dudes.